Joining me now is Amy Pate, Executive Director at the National Consortium for the Study of Terrorism and Responses to Terrorism at the University of Maryland. Amy, thanks so much for your time for CTV News Channel today in Canada. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So based on the information that's currently available, and as you can expect, it is changing rapidly as this is all part of the investigation, is this considered terrorism under U.S. law?
So there are a lot of different definitions of terrorism under U.S. law, and usually it's a sentencing enhancement, right? Although some states have definitions. We don't really know what the motive is now, so it's hard to tell if it fits into various definitions of terrorism. My guess, my speculation, is given the profile of the attack and the profile of the victim, that this probably is an incident that was politically motivated by political grievances, and thus would broadly be considered a terrorist attack, a terrorist incident. But again, until we get the full picture, it's really hard to say.
Yeah, of course, a specific motive, as this is still very early in the investigation, is not yet confirmed. Now, your team collects data on political violence events. What does the data tell you whether we're seeing an increase in politically motivated killings, particularly in the U.S.?
Yeah, so we have a database that's called the Terrorism and Targeted Violence Database, which allows us to actually compare incidents that are politically motivated versus other types of grievance motivated violence, right? So like the school shootings, for example, or workplace violence. And one thing we've noted, we did a comparison of the first 6 months of 2025 compared to the first 6 months of 2024, and there is a very significant increase in the number of incidents that are classified as terrorism because of that political motivation. First 6 months of this year, we've seen 150 incidents, both attempted plots that were disrupted as well as those that were successfully carried out. This compares to 83 such incidents in the first 6 months of 2024. So that is a large increase. And it's happening in a context of increased violence in general. During the same time period, we saw 520 total terrorism and targeted violence events this year compared to 375 last year. So we're just in a period right now in the United States of heightened acts of violence. We've seen heightened numbers of mass casualty events, so events that with at least 4 casualties. And we've seen heightened numbers of plots that are not being disrupted and that are maturing into actual attacks.
Amy Pate is the Executive Director of the National Consortium for the Study of Terrorism at the University of Maryland. Amy, appreciate your time and insight. Appreciate it today.
Thank you.